You were in wrestling for a bunch of years before you got the Stone Cold thing. Even you were part of the Fabulous Blondes, right? That was
Hollywood Blondes with Flying Brian Pillman. Yeah,
right. And Ted Turner put that together.
Yeah,
and then you left his organization and you went over to Vince McMahon's organization, and now you've had incredible success, right? You're like the #1 draw in wrestling.
Yeah, basically down there in WCW, I was held back because the people that were in the ring had the book and they had the power. So anytime you see an upcoming threat, you're going to keep that person down. I was kept down, and then finally I jumped off the ropes in Japan.
Right.
The Japanese guy moved. I tore my tricep off my arm, and they said, well, hey, based on the amount of money we're paying you, about the amount of days you've been incapacitated, we're going to go ahead and exercise our right to terminate the agreement. I said, well, this is on the phone.
Right.
I said, well, basically, you're telling me I'm fired. He goes, well, yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
I said, well, are you going to send me something in writing or what?
So when you were working for Ted Turner, you tore your tricep.
Right.
And that's it. Then they just chucked you out like you were a piece of garbage.
Oh, yeah, right during the rehabilitation process. You know,
so you should really be wrestling Ted Turner is what you should be doing.
It wasn't Ted Turner. It was the guy that was running that organization. But,
right.
And like you said, I came to the World Wrestling Federation, and, I got to say, for this place, they give you an opportunity, and that's all you can ask for.
Right. So you don't.
It's business. If you carry damn football, they'll let you run with it.
Right.
Okay, but how do you get into wrestling? I mean, there's no
Man, I saw a report.
College program, and then you get drafted.
Out of college.
Yeah, but I saw a report on TV. You know how many guys try to make? I mean, for Steve Austin to be the #1 guy, it's pretty amazing because I was watching this report on TV about guys trying to get into wrestling. I mean, it's almost impossible.
Right, because they go to like a training camp or something.
You could go there, but it's like if you
they don't usually take anybody.
If you don't attract the crowd, if you don't turn them on, they just turn you out.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the end of it, right?
They take them guys up there and making them do 1,000,000 push-ups, squats, and jumping jacks and silly stuff like that. So they try to weed out everybody that that's not halfway in shape. And then,
right.
I haven't seen a lot of the wrestling camps. I mean, WWF has one that's pretty good because they're good at looking at talent and always looking for the new guy to come in and
But
turn
how did
some
you
heads.
get into it?
Well, I watched it when I was a kid. I grew up in South Texas, so I used to watch Houston wrestling, and then everybody used to come in there and say, "Hey, turn the TV, turn something else on the TV." I said, "Well, shit, just." Let me watch wrestling and watch whatever you want to watch. And,
right, you were fascinated.
Yeah, I kind of kept on through that. And then after college, my scholarship ran out, and I used to go to the matches.
What college did you go to?
North Texas State.
Right.
In Texas. I used to go watch the Von Erichs wrestle up there at the Sportatorium. And being about 30 feet from a ring, I said, well, hell, if those guys can do it, I can too. So basically,
did you wrestle in college and stuff? Did you do like, the regular regulation wrestling?
I ain't got no amateur background. I played football and everything like that. And these days, it ain't about, wrestling technique or anything. Basically, do you need to know how to wrestle? Yeah, but it's basically a character personality type thing and something that the crowd can identify with.
Right.
Seeing a guy out there in blue trunks going against a guy in red trunks, that's pretty vanilla. That's pretty generic. It's pretty boring.
Right.
So, it's a combination of a lot of things. So I saw those guys and I said, I'd give it a shot.
How many days a week you got to wrestle?
Well, basically, I'm on the road for over 200 days, a year.
Those are live appearances.
Live appearances.
That means wrestling,
every
every
night.
Yeah.
Right. One of the funniest things I saw you do is go on Regis Philbin, and then when you were wrestling him, you punched him in the nose, like by accident.
Well,
Did you break his nose?
I was trying to show him like my finishing move, the Stone Cold Stunner, or whatever you want to call it.
Right.
So we're basically in the finished position. I feel a guy. I mean, he's a great guy. He's about 140 pounds.
Right.
But I felt him kind of rustling around behind him, behind me, and I was like, I think a guy's trying to take me down or something.
Yeah, he's trying to make himself look good.
I'm thinking I got to go to work, and all the 30 guys are going to say, "Oh yeah, Regis beat you out on national television."
Right.
So I spun around on top of him real quick, and I shot my hand right there in front of his face. I didn't mean to.
Right.
Wink, wink.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to. I kind of clipped him in the nose, but he was a real pro about it. He picked up the CD, held it up, and went off the air. He was super cool.